Brother Uriah, eventually, after the events of the night, after the assault by Stradvan Zarovich on you personally and on your love Nahara and on your friends, you all fall back into that crumbling edifice of a church that one way or another the Count seemed either unable or unwilling to enter. And at some point, despite your best efforts, sitting up watching over Nahara, an uneasy sleep does find you. Uriah, can you hear me?
Who who calls?
A friend in need of a holy man. They are few and far between in these lands, and it seems you might actually be one.
It is true what you say. Holy men and women are in short supply in these parts, but so are friends, though there seems to be no shortage of those who would name themselves as such. Who do I address?
Around you, there is an ambient haze, Uriah, that starts to draw back slightly, revealing a field. Looks like it could be anywhere in Barovia. Those same knotty trees that you see everywhere, the same ever-clinging chill in the low frost that hangs just above the ground. But this time, you see there are bodies strewn all about. All manner of monsters, zombies, werewolves, wolves. Dozens of them, possibly hundreds of them, and dotted amongst them every so often, for every 20 dead monstrosity, there is an armored person, men and women that also lay dead amongst them. And in the middle of it, you see what looks like a silver-haired man of a similar age to you, wearing luxurious finery, standing in the middle of all the chaos.
You have me at a disadvantage, sir. You clearly know my name. How is it you are called?
I was known by many names in my time. I assure you, I will give you my name momentarily. But might I ask you a few questions first? Hope is in such short supply in these lands. I dare not expend what meager supply I have in vain.
You speak true. If your aims are good, and you do not seek to cause others harm, then I will answer your questions.
Good. That was my aim. It was. I sought justice. I sought to make a difference. But my eyes were clouded by hubris. I underestimated my foe and overestimated my own strength to the ruin of us all. And he just motions at this battlefield.
And this foe of whom you speak, was it the ruler of Barovia?
He points at your face and says, I believe you've made his acquaintance, yes.
Uriah reaches up and touches the mark left by Strahd's hand on his face.
It is there,
Yes.
even in your dreams, Uriah.
Yes. I bear this mark for my foolishness. I would oppose him again, but perhaps in a less foolhardy way.
He is a terrible foe, nigh implacable, but he is not invincible. My strength was not the equal of it. But perhaps, were I able to lend my strength to yours and of your formidable allies, victory could be achieved.
What strength I have flows from Ezra, Lady of the Mists.
You must forgive me, Brother Uriah. In life, I knelt to no gods. I believed my own strength and authority was sacrosanct, sufficient. I was wrong. Tell me,
And
Brother
now?
Uriah, as a cleric of Ezra, what do you believe your purpose is?
Ezra protects the innocent that dwell within these lands. She watches over us from the mists. She gave herself to them to protect us. I serve as her instrument to protect those who cannot protect themselves, to keep evil at bay, and to banish the terrors of the night.
What would you do if you tried to light a flame in the hearts of those who answered to you, if those who answered the call to glory and heroism, but that flame consumed them? What if they became everything you sought to destroy? What if they took your name and instead became everything you wished to see ridden from these lands and all others? What would you do, Brother Uriah?
This, sir, is what I assume befell you. And did you turn upon them in wrath?
No, I failed them. I failed them just like I failed to stop von Zarovich. By now, I assume in your travels and in your wisdom, you've come to understand the nature of this place. What Barovia is, what these lands are.
I have my own theories, but from everything I have gathered, it seems the reality we know is a prison. Prison for those who claim or think they rule.
I've come to the right person at long last. So few comprehend this simple and most fundamental thing. But I caution you. I also realized this once. This place is von Zarovich's prison. All of them are hells of their own unique making. Your countenance is familiar to me. I assume the Lich King is known to you as well.
All too well, I fear.
Darkon binds him as well. His own prison, his own hell. The mistake I made. For I grappled with von Zarovich when he was still but a man. A terrible, brutal man. But a man nonetheless. A necromancer. I thought no mortal could stand before me, and then I came to realize the nature of this place. I didn't have to defeat von Zarovich. He's defeated himself. Look, has he not lost? And yet, in the walls of this prison, his power grew. He swept like a flame across the countryside. And my power was insufficient. My name Do you know it was Argynvost?
I am only passingly familiar with the history of Barovia, and I would assume that if you were the Count's enemy, he did his best to strike your name from history's record.
He looks across the battlefield, and you see it starts to rewind somewhat, Uriah. You see the dead warriors stand up and start moving backwards, and the destroyed monstrosities of Strahd von Zarovich begin moving backwards until you see the battle lines forming. And on the other side, you see this man, but now he is wearing gleaming silver armor, and his knights all look powerful, imposing, assured, hopelessly outnumbered against von Zarovich's forces. And across the field, you do see Strahd himself on the back of a great white horse. And you see Argynvost turns and looks at his men and says, "Today we deliver final victory. Today we take von Zarovich's head. Today we extinguish his flame once and for all, and ours will burn brightly for all time. And you see he turns and looks at you, Uriah, and he just nods. And you see he begins to change and turns into a huge silver dragon. Massive. His wings expand and extend over all of his troops that look at him and salute, and turns and breathes death across the lines at Strahd's monstrosities. But von Zarovich doesn't blink. He just motions them forward. And these brave knights charge into wave after wave of these things. And the dragon flies, joining in the battle, breathing death and destruction down upon all of them. And you notice von Zarovich just sits there and looks at him the entire time, flying through the air. And you see he's holding a book, Uriah. A book close to his chest. But he holds his hand out and begins speaking dark incantations, and you see a sphere of black energy forming in von Zarovich's palm that Argynvost doesn't see. And von Zarovich holds his hands out, and you see black shackles come hurtling out of Strahd's hands and begin wrapping around the dragon and pull it down to the ground. And it struggles against them, but it can't get up. And the knights rush out and they hack at these chains futilely. And you see Strahd just looks, and the closest thing to a smile come across his face as he motions forward. And out of the trees, you see the full strength of his army is revealed. Lycanthropes, huge fleshy abominations stitched together from the bodies of multiple creatures, come pouring like a horrifying tidal wave over these defenders until they are all killed to the last one. And the dragon, still struggling, covered in bites and scratches, looks up at von Zarovich, who rides over on his horse, and looks down at him and smiles again and simply says, and they begin hacking the dragon into pieces while it's still alive, and stripping the flesh off of its body, leaving it on the field cast off, and dragging the bones of it back to Castle Ravenloft. And you see this specter of Argynvost standing next to you, and he says, "I know this seems tragic, But this was actually not the worst of it. Do you have the constitution to witness what came next, Uriah?
I will bear witness. I am very sorry for your sorrows. You were magnificent. I have known the friendship of a dragon before. And to see one such as you brought low by such as they, my heart breaks.
I believed I was magnificent, but in truth I was insufficient. And you see the time begins to pass, and the night gets even darker as the bodies of these knights were left on the field, surrounded by the corpses of the enemies that they'd slain, and the remaining meat of their lord and champion Argynvost. And you see in their dead eyes, one by one, flames begin to ignite. And they start to stand up again. Strahd. And the mist sweeps over the scene again, where only you and Argynvost stand there, and he says, I lost them not once, but twice.
I see. They were raised, but not by necromancy, but by their own desire
Rage.
for revenge. Yes. Yes, I've heard of such things.
He reaches out and he puts his hands on your shoulders, and he says, they still walk these lands, Uriah. They still haunt my halls. They still strike at Von Zarovich whenever they can, hoping to weaken him, to deprive him of any joy that might come across him. But I need to put their souls at rest. I need you to help me, help them. If you do this, I can offer you but two things. In the time they have left, they would be a formidable fighting force, and in my hold, in Argynvostholt, there sleeps a weapon that may be of some assistance to you. With their help, with this blade, you and your friends might be able to find the strength to end Von Zarovich once and for all. I do not ask you to bring peace to us for my own sake, but for the sake of all of the sentients that dwell in these lands, the innocents who suffer under Von Zarovich, and in its own strange way, even bring peace to Von Zarovich himself.
Uriah, I'm going to try an insight check, obviously, just to make sure this seems on the level. That is a 19.
You detect no deception.
What help I can give you is yours. I will do my best to free these poor souls from the cycle of rage and revenge they find themselves trapped in. And yes, if they can offer assistance to us, then perhaps they may be redeemed.
What I'm about to ask of you is a great burden, Uriah. There will be no dishonor should you decline. In Castle Ravenloft, in one of Strahd's trophy rooms, my skull hangs, as it has for centuries. Find it. Restore my skull to Argynvostholt, And I believe, I hope, I might be able to ignite my light one last time to free them, to liberate them, to fight von Zarovich of their own accord and free will, with their true strength and glory, one last time.
Then you would suggest Castle Ravenloft itself should be our first destination, rather than going to Argynvost. Yes, of course. I was told an order of Knights of the Silver Dragon lay to the west of Valaki.
We are not completely forgotten then.
No.
If you come to my hold without this, I fear what you will find in the eyes and hearts of my knights. But I do believe you have 2 bits of hope that might work to your advantage, Uriah.
Yes?
3, actually.
Oh, good.
1. Dawn approaches. Even von Zarovich himself still fears the sting of the day star, however meager its light may be in these lands. His strength wanes during the day. 2. He thinks you beaten. I saw what he did. The last place he will expect you is in his own castle. And 3, your lady love, Nahara. Although she has suffered his first kiss, and make certain you understand, it is but the first. Has awakened something in her. She may understand his castle better than he thinks she can. If you move with haste, it may be possible to do this before von Zarovich realizes what it is you have achieved.
Do you know the rough location of your skull? Or simply within the castle itself?
Somewhere that would have once been prominently on display, but probably now dusty and forgotten.
All right. Answer me one more thing, if you would. You said Nahara has suffered his first kiss.
Yes.
Is it true what the legends say? That after 3, there is no going back?
That is what the legends say. But I must believe there is always a way back. Or I would not have reached out to you like this. When you see he turns and looks off in the distance, it's something you can't perceive, Uriah. And he says, my time grows short. What more do you ask of me?
I will do what I can to help you and your followers. They were good and noble once. They do not deserve to suffer so.
What strength I still possess will shine like a light from Argynvost. Oh, Brother Uriah. Once I tried to brighten these lands. I will do all in my power to brighten them at least once more. Thank you Thank you for entertaining the pleadings of an old fool.
Thank you for your faith in me. I shall do my utmost to live up to it.
Uriah, you are greater than you realize. Von Zarovich underestimates you. The Lich King underestimates you. But worst of all, I think, you underestimate you. And with that, Uriah, you awaken with a start. And hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society. This is episode 7, Silver and Steel. As always, the Black Dice Society is a horror show. As such, we deal with content that you might not encounter in other episodes of Dungeons and Dragons and stories of this nature. As always, I am aware of the lines and veils of the cast. We have a safety system in place where they can notify me if something is wrong, and we just dive in. I freely understand and admit this is a trying time right now, basically for the whole planet. And as such, things that might not phase us at all at different times might hit a little different now. So, as always, take care of yourself, dear viewer, as we do everything we can to take care of each other. Before we dive into our story properly today, first let us meet these wonderful people. Let us know who you are and who you're playing, beginning with the first brilliant person we have already met, Brother Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Meir. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, Cleric of the Grave and Worshipper of Ezra, Lady of the Mists.
Let's go around the horn here. Finn.
Hey, I'm Tanya, Cypher of Tyr. I play your Drow Dumpier Blood Hunter with a wee bit of beast in her as well as a bit of the Warlock. Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
Pronouns are she, her. Just a little bit.
Just a shot of the beast. Just like, boom. Just a...
We're PG-13. I can't make the joke. I was just thinking. Who's next?
I'm like, put it in chat. Tatiana.
Hey everybody, I'm Becca Scott. You can find me on the internet at the Becca Scott or on my channel on YouTube, Good Time Society. We just posted a new RPG game last night. Last day. Anyway, here I am, Tatiana, Ergenazi Barbarian Druid. I mean, but less accent. Sorry.
It's a year-long habit, you know. Also, Tatiana is now available in Idle Champions, having made her video game debut.
What? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm. Thank you for remembering my announcement better than me.
You got a lot going on, I get it. And Tatiana and Desmond are both currently appearing in Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen on Monday nights at 4 on CNE Games. How is it that Tatiana and Desmond can be there and here at the same time? Well, you'll find out. I know. But in
when
the
you want food, things happen.
You know, I mean, let's be honest. Can you think of a better way to lure Tatiana or Desmond into a trap than with food, though?
Brisket's always going to get me.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of one. We went there. It's
fine. Beef is beef. Desmond?
Oh, hi. I'm DJ. You can find me pretty much everywhere at DJ Night. You see the thing here. I play Desmond, human, ranger.
Lycanthrope.
Our pronouns are he, him. Thank you for tuning in.
Valentine.
Oh, hello. Hi, my name is Sage Ryan. I go by Not Sage or Pixel Circus everywhere on the internet. And tonight I am playing Valentine. Valentine was once a half-elf, but it is now a bloody reborn aberrant mind sorcerer with just a tiny dash of rogue, and we both use she, her pronouns.
You know, the sweet is mean, though, like objectively.
Very polite and well-mannered and well-meaning.
Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You could find me everywhere on the internet at Noralogical. My pronouns are she, her, as is my character Nahara, who is a reborn, fallen Azamar undead warlock with a few levels of College of the Spirit Bard. Here for all your spooky foreshadowing, befriender of strange puppets, and in the strangest love triangle I think I've ever encountered in a story.
I will just say, usually we don't look back too much over past stories, but on the off chance you missed last week's episode with Lucky Yates, please do yourself a favor. Go back and watch him bring Piddlewick to glorious life. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Die Hard Dice. Again, our Dark Lord Dyers, which you can see right there, and they're chunky babies. They break apart, and you can reconnect them in interesting combinations. Are available now at dieharddice.com, and you can also use code BDS to get 10% off anything else that you choose to order Die Hard Dice. It's all dope. I can tell you, after long last, my personal set is this close to coming out. I've seen it. I think it's really cool. Looking forward to sharing it with you soon. Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Look, Mom, I'm Dice. Warriors of Waterdeep. The code should be coming up in chat. Again, to keep an eye out inside Warriors of Waterdeep, you might see some of these familiar faces popping up in the game. Idle Champions, of course. Desmond is in the game. Tatiana is in the game. I won't say anything else, but the chess code should be coming up right now. And if you type in exclam, I think it's chest or is it code in chat? You think I would know that after all this time. But it's going to be coming up in chat. Secret Lab chairs. Thank you. Love mine. Again, it's like riding around on the couch. We have an affiliate link there if you're thinking about picking up a new chair. The Witcher ones are particularly dope. Highly recommended. We have our TeePublic store, hats, bags, masks, notebooks, t-shirts, anything you want, you can get on our TeePublic. And of course, we still have our BDS art with our museum quality art prints of our incredible art by Adam Schimpert, which is apparently very reflective, but I think you know what it is. It's incredibly cool. It's like you can have pictures of me and Jason Carl in V-Muse and Mark Meir desperately in need of lotion. There you go. You can have all that. You can have that on your wall.
Moisturize.
Art. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Aslan is objectively dusty. And last but not least, we have our Patreon featuring our exclusive after show, bonus content, DM tips from me, all sorts of incredible stuff. It literally makes it possible to do what we do. So check that out at patreon.com/The Black Dice Society. And with that, let us get on with our story. Brother Uriah, you awaken in the church. Again, for each of you, Strahd left mere moments ago after the altercation outside the church, after seeing him cruelly bury his fangs into Nahara's neck and seeing her fall unconscious and go through what was apparently a solo journey back through some of her memories and experiences that somehow gave her some insight into previous incarnations, both how they were in the past and how they were now. You all fell back into the church to seek some form of safe harbor. You find Arena and Iskar are both curled up near the front of the church, sleeping after a very hasty service was performed to put their father into the ground while they could. And you all found rest when you could. And aside from Valentine and Nahara, who never really sleep, Uriah, everyone else is sleeping soundly.
I shall cross over to Nahara, to where she's sitting, I suppose. Nahara? Nahara? Valentine?
Yeah, yes? Are you. Is something wrong? Are you all right? Why are you awake?
I think I've experienced a visitation.
Have you?
Yes. It wasn't a dream, I'm sure of it.
What did you see? Tell me everything.
We may have an ally. Sadly, one who was no longer among the living, but one who did, nevertheless, offer assistance, though it will not be easily won.
Who?
Dragon, if you can believe it. But, are you all right? I was so worried. You were lying so still.
I had the strangest. It felt so real. Everyone, well, mostly everyone was there. Valentine wasn't there. But I was back.
You dreamt as well, then?
Yes, but not a dragon. I was back in Castle Ravenloft. And you were all sleeping at first in guest quarters, and there was this
Yes?
strange puppet, Piddlewick, that I knew from my first life.
Oh.
And I don't know why he was there.
You know, it's funny you should mention Castle Ravenloft, because that is where we need to go, apparently.
We need to go. Why do we need to go? For what?
I know our initial plan had been to flee as far from its shadow as possible, but well, perhaps I'd best wait until all the others are awake as well. Are you still hurt? Are the wounds from the fangs still on her neck?
Recall you had healed them, so the holes had closed up.
Is it still there?
No visible sign, but I think it's imperative that we do not let him do that again. It's he has marked you, I suppose, and me as well.
Yes. How come yours didn't heal? I tried to help you.
No, it doesn't hurt anymore. The flesh has mended itself, but the mark is still there. The shadow of his hand. I suspect it's something akin to what Tatiana experienced from Soth.
Perhaps. I don't know what is it that you're looking for?
A skull. The skull of a dragon.
Nahara, as you start to think back, you realize you remember the layout of Castle Ravenloft actually. You didn't used to, but the halls, the rooms, not necessarily the individual perils that are contained therein, but you kind of remember the layout of the castle. You remember there was a trophy room where Strahd had the skull of a dragon that he was quite proud of.
Yes, Dragon skull, he had one, he kept one. It was a trophy of his.
Yes, a trophy, yes. Do you know where it is within the castle?
I think so. In my dream, we had walked through parts of the castle, and it just, since then, I think I remember how to get to it.
All right. Well, that's much better than merely entering Castle Ravenloft and poking about. If we have a clear idea of where it is, there's a chance we could get in before. But if we get in before nightfall, during daylight hours, I know there's not much time, not here in Barovia, but this is cause for hope. We should rouse the others. Valentine, are you?
Yes, yes, I'm always awake.
Yes,
what
I know,
happening?
but sometimes you zone out a little. Yes, we need to wake everyone. I have some very important news.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'll go to Tatiana first, because I just don't trust anyone else to wake her and not get hit. So I have like a specific way of like putting a hand on her shoulder that she knows is me to awake Tatiana.
Okay, no fighting.
Yep. You wake Fen and Desmond because if I don't want to get hit.
Right. For Desmond, I'm just gonna run and like a belly flop into a pool on top of him. Ah! Wakey!
What? Whoa! What is?
Good morning. Trying new
my
tactic?
stomach. Okay. Good morning. Hello?
Maybe sleep flexing and it won't be a problem.
Maybe.
I tap his cheek as I get up.
Okay. I got you. We're awake. What did I miss?
No idea. I slept like rocks, like all of the rocks.
Somebody get Fen up. Apparently, Brother Uriah has some news.
I'm awake.
He has some news. The kind that makes him all,
Spit out the words.
Oh, yes. Is everyone here? All right.
Yes.
I assume you do not intend to include Iskar and Arena, because you do all see them sleeping, a few feet away, kind of just like curled up with each other.
They had a hard day.
We'll let them rest for now. Also, we're
They're
not
grieving.
we're not quite sure how many times Arena has been drank from. So let's keep this between us for right now. I was visited as I slept in my mind by a dragon, a silver dragon. Do you recall we were told earlier that an order of knights, the Knights of the Silver Dragon, they lay to the west of Valaki, but apparently they ceased to be among the living quite some time ago. In fact, when Strahd was still immortal, they have been cursed, not by Strahd himself, but by their own rage and desire for revenge. They have risen as undead warriors, revenants, I believe is the term. They are not animated by necromancy, but by their own will. But their former master, the Silver Dragon, who once led them against the forces of evil, seeks to free them. The dragon itself was brought low by Strahd's by the Count's magics. Mm-hmm. But if we can retrieve its skull from Castle Ravenloft, take it to their hold, I am assured that we might be able to not only free them from their curse, but bring them to our side, that we may stand against the Count. They would be powerful allies, and perhaps with them we might have a chance to actually defeat him. The problem is that, of course, the skull is within Castle Ravenloft, but Nahara knows where it is.
Yes.
Or at least where it was.
It should still be there. But in my first life, I do remember him being very fond of it. I do know where it is.
On the minus side, apparently Strahd had sufficient power to fell a dragon even before he ascended to his current state, or descended, if you prefer. So there's that.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm sorry. And it's before we've broken our fast or anything. I thought I should tell everyone as soon as they work.
There's an army available at our disposal. I think that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
And he did come to
right,
you,
but-
Uriah. There must be something that makes you capable.
I suspect it is because I serve a god of good. The Silver Dragon claimed to follow no gods, but in legend, anyway, the metallic dragons always stood against the forces of evil. And certainly, at least in my dream, it was a shining and radiant sight to behold.
Brother Uriah, recall he also told you that in his hold was a weapon that might be capable of bringing Strahd low as well.
And there's more.
Go on.
I hesitated I was saving this because it's really it's big news, especially for you and Desmond and Tiffen, actually. There's some sort of weapon within the hold. I assume guarded by the knights, but if we won them to our side, then it might be ours for the taking. A blade, apparently of sufficient power to stand against the Count.
Would I,
Like a cursed
at this
blade?
point, remember or have heard of something, or recall hearing anything of this sort?
Give me history with advantage.
Okay. I'm also going to use that knowledge from a past life
Knowledge from a
to give
past
me
life.
a d6 to that.
Perfect. I mean, if ever that skill were relevant, this is kind of that time.
This is it.
Brother Uriah, I'm going to send something else to you here.
Will this be in our...
Just right here.
Okay, great. While I've got you on the line, let me ask you. I did see a vision of the How big would I assume this? Having seen its head, how big is this skull? Are we talking like the size of a person? Will we need a wagon to get it out of there?
I mean, you've got some powerful people with you. It's going to take more than one of you to move it. Yeah, but not insurmountable. Yes, Nahara?
24.
The only thing you remember is Strahd's brother Sergei had a sword he loved. But Strahd had that destroyed. Besides that, he never really had any need for weapons. I mean, of course, he carried plenty of swords in his time as a warlord, but he was not overly fond or fearful of any of them, except that's the only one you know he truly hated.
I'm not quite sure of the provenance of this blade, but the dragon. Sorry, just refresh me on the name again. So
Argynvost.
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 And the hold is Argynvost Holt.
Argynvost Hult, yes. So Argynvost, the dragon, took human form. It could have been the blade that he wielded when he was a human, or any number of things, I suppose. They were an order of knights. It's entirely possible they had a magic blade of some sort.
It's
But
possible.
I think it's become more powerful with the death of the dragon.
There was. I'm not sure if it's the same one. The only blade that I know that Strahd despised was one that belonged to his brother Sergei. But it could be completely different. I don't know.
In any case, I think it will do much good in the hands of one of our warriors. And for all we know, it is cursed, Tatiana, so that might be an extra incentive.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If it is cursed, I have experience with that, so maybe it makes sense if I take it first, just to test if it's cursed and if it's super powerful.
I would say you're most qualified in curses, that's for sure.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Hey, and you've gotten uncursed, so now that you're back to 0, I mean, we're not worried about stacking another on top, but you can handle at least one.
When you think of it that way, I'm most experienced at also becoming uncursed. I just have to find a unicorn in the lake.
Very true. I'm not going to disagree.
Ben,
I could really use one of those. I'm not sure if this is a curse per se, but it is definitely the mark of the count. So
Yes.
I could give you another good berry, but it didn't.
Oh no, I am fine. It doesn't hurt, though it is a bit cold to the touch and a little unnerving when glancing in the mirror.
Ben, is this going to be a conflict of interest?
I just recall Uriah has a mark on his face from where Strahd grabbed him, essentially that is burned across his jaw.
I think it looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Wondering if perhaps my plague mask might not be a bad idea. Wearing it, people might know what that means, and well, I can see in these lands anyway that it's unnerving some, or perhaps turning some against us.
I
No,
would say that I've seen great benefits in covering scars that make you identifiable or make people ask questions.
I don't think either of you should live with shame, and that is my opinion. I think you have very nice scars. They show your strength. They show what you have overcome.
And they make people ask what happened that got my head cut off. So I prefer to wear a necklace.
Cut
For
down on
you, a
small
mask
talk.
Could work.
See.
Yes, well, perhaps just for the sake of being prudent and not to upset the locals too much, I could always put this on and just, yes, well, we'll decide on that later. So, what think you all? This is... The dragon seemed to be in earnest and did seem to be truthful.
It seems if a dragon is on our side, then we are in the right.
A dead dragon, so not as much material help as might be expected, but did mention that now might be the best time to try it.
Did you say this dragon has fused itself, created its own curse by its need for vengeance, and yet that vengeance has not been served?
No.
So to your point, maybe they can't help us so much.
No, it's not. It's not actually the dragon that is cursed by the need for vengeance. It's its followers, the knights that were sworn to its service when they saw it fall, and then themselves were slain.
This makes more sense now.
Their rage brought them back, and the dragon wishes to free them from this terrible burden.
Which
coincidentally,
we'll be able to do once we get this skull back?
Yes, that's imperative. I did ask about just going and seeing if we could convince them, but that seems to be a non-starter. We will need the skull if we have any hope of winning them over. And doing it now, while the sun is, such as it is in the sky, especially considering that the Count thinks us completely defeated and cowed, the dragon seemed to think that he would not expect us to immediately breach his lair. And I'll admit, that seems like a very foolish thing to do, but it would be the last thing he would expect.
It is incredibly risky, yes.
If I had a middle name, it would be foolish in a good way. We're going to find a dragon skull, deliver it to knights, and also I think I will throw a feast afterward. Yes, I will throw a feast for you.
Yes.
For all of you once we defeat him.
Thank you. You mentioned a middle. Do you have a last name?
No.
No, I didn't think so. All right.
In
So
the pits. And just Tatiana. No one gave the time to give me a last name.
oh,
So that's just a me thing.
it's all right. Not everyone needs one.
No.
Okay. All right. Are we resolved then?
Plah!
What we're going to do?
Sure.
Oh.
Let's go to
And-
Castle Ravenloft. Why not?
Well, we have a certain thing that we just... Is this going to conflict with anything that you have discussed with this Count previously?
Did we have other plans?
I have no idea what they're talking about if you're going to speak in secrets. I've
Well-
already forgotten.
I mean, our plan was to just flee wildly in the direction of Valaki, but I mean, we will have to go there eventually. That's where the hold is. But first we go to the most dangerous place in this domain.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right.
There was once a jester who said, "The closer we are to danger, the farther we are from harm." Let's go.
Also a second breakfast enthusiast, that jester.
Speaking of breakfast, could we at least go on a full belly in case we all die?
Yes,
Okay.
Or
we
die
should-
again?
Great idea.
We should definitely keep our strength up. Yes.
I'm going to
Give
wake
us-
up
give
the
us
brother and
anyone?
sister and tell them to cook for us.
Gonna wake up Iskar and Arena and tell them to cook?
Good morning.
Are you gonna ask nicely or are you asking meanly?
Hi, can you cook for me?
Give me persuasion, Tatiana.
Oh, boo. It's a 10 plus something.
Well, I don't know how persuasive Tatiana is. She's very intimidating. I don't know how persuasive.
Charisma's
Can I
not our
assist
strength.
in
Here we
some
go,
way?
here we
Can
go.
I like
Well-
minor illusions, some like
Plus 0.
sparkles around her head?
Important
Oh, yeah.
important point of clarification, Tatiana. Are you asking Arena or are you asking Iskar?
I wake Ismark. Iskar?
Ismark. I keep saying it wrong. It's Ismark.
Izzy.
Ismark. That's how we said. His name is literally Ismark.
Ismark.
How can we
It
forget
is
that?
Mark.
Ismark.
It
Yeah.
is Mark.
Are you asking Ismark?
I lean over him first to wake him. He sees nothing but blue, both my face and the sky above when his eyes open.
Oh, is it? Hey, hi.
Do you want to cook for me?
And you see he turns and notices that his sister's still next to him. And he's like, whoa, we are in a church, Tatiana.
You can't cook in a church?
Yeah, wait, no, you mean breakfast. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, just a 10. I get up and walk away. I wake his sister.
It's good. Would you just like kick this kid's boot or something? How do you wait? You know,
Oh, I like her. I just pick her up and stand her up. You're awake now. Would you like to cook breakfast?
And she does pull a knife out. She's like, I'm ready. I'll just.
Good reflexes. I want to try and knock it out of her hand.
I mean, again, she's a sleepy child and you're a trained killer. So, yes, it is easy.
Cool. That was really good. I'm very impressed.
Oh, is it time to set out for Valaki? Yes. No, I will I will prepare breakfast so we can be about it, so we can travel during the day and hopefully make camp by nightfall. Yeah, I. And you see, she does start just like rummaging around through her pack looking for something. And Ismark just says, that is very wise. We should set out to make the most of the daylight, such as it is, and starts helping her.
Can I do a deck pull before we head out?
I mean, if not now, when? In the meantime, what is Finn doing?
Finn is trying to get Desmond's attention to pull him away from everyone else.
You do
Not
so
difficult to
easily.
do.
Yep.
Yep. Desmond's in. What's going on?
Well, we haven't had much chance to talk, and it seemed like you weren't happy with me with the letter I sent you.
Not happy isn't necessarily the way I would phrase that, but with the note that you gave. Didn't really have a whole lot of time to process before the moment of truth might have been at hand. So that was interesting. Where did that come from?
You've seen how Nepenthe is, and I am merely mortal, Desmond, and I've already sacrificed a lot just to get Nepenthe here. And the way things are going, I don't know when I'm going to find the caller. This may have all been for nothing. And you're the one that I trust to do what would need to be done. And you've held Nepenthe before.
Yeah.
You would get her
I
back.
don't think anybody else held Nepenthe, so I don't think they understand the whispers. That is a powerful, focused weapon you have there.
Right. Which is why I trust you to get it back to Isolde should the unthinkable happen.
It's not about getting it back to Isolde that bugged me about the note. It was the how. You asked me to do what must be done, if need be.
Yeah.
That's a lot to just... I'm all like, here, have this. I'm going to go do a thing. That's a lot to process without really having much time to think about it.
Well, I didn't think Strahd was going to show up in the next 5 minutes.
I'm sure. But if I remember, I felt like you handed it to me and then like it went down. So it was heavy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I'm cool with doing first thing in the morning, like doing what must be done for a friend and then taking a weapon that lets the world know it needs to handle some business back to somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And also, I imagine me showing up with Nepenthe to Isolde. That's not going to go over very well.
Believe it or not, she likes you and trusts you.
How would that be benefited by me showing up with Nepenthe?
Because she wouldn't be tempted to take your head off in the first 2 seconds.
Touche. That means those first 2 seconds got to be real good ones. Got to be real persuasive when showing up. Oh, hi, here's your fantastic sword. It's been telling me to wreck people the entire way here. Who'd thunk it? So yeah, that's... Also, I'm not trying to do what must be done for you. I mean, if it needs to happen, absolutely, positively needs to happen, I can try. But I don't want to. Really
I don't think anyone ever wants to do that kind of thing, Desmond. But
I'm just sprinkling out there just for future reference. Like, again, I just said it. If it needs to happen, cool. But I really don't want to.
I know, and I appreciate that. But I also know that You'd hate it. You'd probably curse my name for the rest of eternity. But would you rather have to do that one thing or let Nepenthe fall into the hands of someone who really shouldn't have it?
Oh, it's not gonna happen at all. If I have anything to do with it. But just glad I've had time to kind of take it in before we had this conversation, because right then, like, it was rough.
Well, Nepenthe really wanted to take off Strahd's head. So
Not surprising at all. Depends ranks anything. Like, oh, does it look evil? It's gotta go.
I mean, Nepenthe isn't the best judge of character. Remember, she wanted to take off Uriah's head.
True.
Oh, but wait,
But
that was
Nepenthe is
before.
a fan of justice and vengeance. It's like, gotta get it right. Like, you've done this many wrongs. I think any of us could be caught up in Nepenthe's wrath, really.
Well, that was before we discovered, who was kind of hanging out in Uriah's head.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that means Nepenthe likely knew.
Yeah.
You all notice Nepenthe is absolutely silent, not rattling, not glowing. And that's not like that sword, especially for you to have said its name so many times. But it's not making a peep.
Not in my head, not rattling, not glowing.
Nothing. It's just a normal sword.
And I think right as we make that understanding, like, look each other in the eye, and like Desmond kind of leans and just looks at Nepenthe. And I imagine Fen just kind of like looks like, huh.
She's quiet.
Are you in there now? Are you in there? Like, are you listening?
Both of you give me insight checks.
You would talk to the sword. You just would talk to the sword, DJ.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is great. That is a 24.
The dirty 20.
You both realize Strahd couldn't come in here either. This place doesn't look like much. It's a beat-up ruin. Like, it's barely standing. It's just a centuries-old, just very dilapidated church. The inside is wrecked, but Strahd wouldn't come inside. And in here, Nepenthe is not making a peep.
We are in a church.
I think we should probably ping everybody else and just mention that, because that's kind of important, I'd imagine.
How so?
If he who shall not be named couldn't come in here, and the pimp is quiet in here, there's a lot of things that I would use to describe the pimp. Quiet, not one of them.
Yeah.
And considering we're in his house, essentially, like this whole land belongs to he who shall not be named, I feel like Nepenthe would be on high alert right now. So to hear nothing, and he's not in here, I think that's not a random connection that should just be kind of like tossed aside. I feel like we may need to talk to brother Uriah, just out of principle. I feel like he may understand a little bit about that.
Yeah. Can I do a religion check before we do that? What is my religion? I get advantage, yay.
That old-time religion.
When the magic was written. Oh, I'm glad I get advantage. It is still just a 14.
What is it that you're trying to figure out?
If I notice any icons, any painting, anything here that may seem to be a reflection of the faith of the people, if there's anything maybe for Ezra, since Uriah is with us.
Let me double check before I tell you the wrong thing.
I wouldn't know. I haven't read the book.
It does not seem sacred to any deity in particular.
Okay.
Although, I reserve the right to say that I was completely wrong about that at a different time. But no, I don't think it is, nope, it doesn't seem, sacred to any Any god in particular.
All right. Well,
If anything, there's a lot of just sun iconography,
okay.
images of the sun written, drawn on some things that are kind of faded and cracked, similar to what you've seen on a lot of the buildings that were shut up and abandoned outside.
Okay. All right, well, we should probably get Uriah, but before I do, we're gonna be okay?
Yeah. We still good.
All right. You're a good friend, Desmond, and I don't want to mess that up.
As are you. I feel like considering this place and all the places we've been, a little note's not gonna mess that up.
Hey, I'm just checking.
Also, you are looking for the person that if memory serves, had a lovely carriage ride with. So I don't know. Like you might be looking to wreck them, but I mean,
I hope you enjoy that memory,
oh,
because there won't be any more.
that's cool. One is plenty.
Good. Good.
Let's go back to the crew.
Oh, I thought you were going to call Uriah over.
I mean, we can go get him real quick. I know. And the second she says that, Desmond goes to pull Brother Uriah over.
Yes. Yes. What? Yes.
So, Brother Uriah, we've noticed a thing while we were having a quick conversation over here. The Count didn't come into this church. And we just called upon Penn's name a large amount of times. No glow, no rattling. And we figured you might, if anybody, might understand something about the place that we're at as to why neither of them seem to have power here. You would understand that better than anyone else.
You know, it's funny. Do I feel Azalin's presence?
No. You didn't really notice. It's like when a headache goes away. You're aware of the pain, but you never really notice when it stops. No. And yet, Argynvost could reach you here.
I don't feel presence of Azalin Rex. It's been fainter since we got to Barovia, or at least more intermittent, but it's completely gone.
Huh.
But Argynvost was able to reach me. Perhaps this place is some sort of proof against evil in general, or perhaps that wouldn't explain Nepenthe, but Dark Lords, perhaps they cannot reach in here, but I mean, Nepenthe is vengeful, certainly, but evil, I'm not sure. It certainly bears more questioning. The priest, the Ismark and Irina had mentioned a priest. Mm-hmm. Have we seen him?
You have not.
Do I recognize, I guess I'd make a religion roll, but looking at these, these sort of sun motifs, I mean, Uriah is aware, he's talked about the Morning Lord before. Like, would I get a bone advantage on this roll?
I mean, this is what you do. I won't even make you roll for it. This doesn't feel like a church to Lathander, though. It is
very old.
General light decorations, sun decorations, but it nothing specific to any god in particular, neither Ezra, Lathander, or any other that you know.
It's interesting. I'm not sure if this church, this temple, is actually dedicated specifically to the Morning Lord. Again, there are sun motifs, certainly, but I don't see many of the usual trappings that are associated specifically with the Morning Lord. I mean, is it possible this is non-denominational Church of Good? There's certainly no symbols of Ezra or iconography. Perhaps it would be best if Irina and Ismark stayed here and we retrieve them later rather than us taking them within the castle. What does everyone think?
Seems a solid call.
Sounds good.
I agree.
Do you want 2 less fighters on our side?
They may not be in the condition to fight at the moment.
She's a child.
I'm thinking specifically of Irina. And her brother, while he does seem to be quite capable, perhaps it's best served staying here to protect her.
I am definitely supportive of that because there's no way.
Well,
If I were in this situation with Armand back at home, I would be with Armand. Everyone else would have to deal.
Yes, and Irina, as I mentioned, might be a little further along the path. It's possible she might find herself in entering Castle Ravenloft. It might.
she has holes in her neck. I see. No, this makes sense. I
Valentine.
was hoping to turn her
Oh, sorry. No, please
into a
stop.
fighter like me, and
Well, I mean, there's still
maybe
time.
I was wrong.
I mean, no, there's
Just
still
not
time.
right at the moment.
Okay, well,
Not right now.
maybe she'll never be strong enough. Maybe you're right.
Valentine, give me perception with advantage, please. You are muted, ma'am.
And now I will answer that is a nat 20.
You're 100% sure
I
Ismark
had
is
a
listening.
2 and a 20.
Yeah, Valentine, you're 100% sure Ismark is listening. He's pretending like he's not. He's not terrible at it. You, having spent your fair share of time listening, acting like you're not. He's not bad, but he can't top you. Irina has no idea. She's preparing breakfast happily. And he is sort of like scrambling some eggs in a small pan over a makeshift fire and not making eye contact. You're
I'd like to make a
100%
telepathic
sure
link.
you're listening. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say, why don't you just wander on into their circle if you're going to be that obvious?
You are all just so full of surprises. I gotta tell you, when there was talk of the castle, I was gonna grab my sister and run out the back door, but now that they're saying wait it out here, keep her safe. Look, that place is a death trap.
Mm-hmm.
If you all go in there, the chances of you coming out again are very slim.
It's
And
not the first time that we've been told we're walking into a death trap, and not the first time we've walked in some place we're less likely to get out than stay in.
Look, I don't want to see anything happen to you, but at the end of the day, I gotta keep her safe, and it's worth my time to wait it out, to have you guys' strength protect us on the way to Valaki, but there is no way in hell I'm letting her go in there, so it seems like we're all on the same page.
That does make sense. I would recommend either committing to it being apparent you're listening to a conversation, inserting yourself, or getting better at listening in.
You see, he does just cast a little smirk in your direction, Valentine, and he's like, what can I say? People around here aren't usually as sharp as you are. Apologies.
Well, keep in mind your company.
Well, I mean, you were clearly keeping an eye on me, so it's a good lesson to take to heart, I suppose.
Exactly. Keep in mind your company.
While we're having this lovely chat, how do you take your eggs?
I don't.
You see, he does stop, like,
If she did, I think it would be scrambled. I've thought a lot about it.
they're talking internally. they're talking head to head.
You know what?
Okay, I just say that.
I'm perfectly willing to say I took the egg conversation out loud as to try and make it normal and cover up for the fact that we've been telepathic communicating. So I'm just gonna signal to him to take it out loud and go, no eggs for me.
How do you take, scrambled. Yeah, of course. Who doesn't like scrambled eggs? I gotta tell you, honestly, no matter how you tell me you take them, you're gonna get them scrambled. So I think
Still not going to eat eggs. Thank you. And I'll turn back to the party.
And you do. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
No, separate thing.
Mhm.
I'm going to pull Tatiana aside when the conversation kind of dies down over there.
Mm-hmm. Mentally or physically.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could have done this with your mind.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, making a little bit more of a show of it. I am gonna just usher Tatiana to like either a private corner or like if there's a room off of this room that I could pull her to for a moment.
One more bite. What?
We'll come back for
Could
eggs.
have told me in my
He's
head.
making more eggs. He's making more eggs.
Okay.
Tatiana, I'm going to say something that would be uncharacteristic of me if it was to anyone but you.
You're my best friend too.
Not what I was going to say, but valid, and I reciprocate. I consider you to be an Asteria. It's not a particularly honorable last name or one that I myself am terribly proud of, but you mentioned not having a last name, and you know that you've always been part of our family.
You're giving me your last name?
I think it was already yours.
She just like drops to the ground and is bawling like uncontrollably, like not like a thing, like you hurt her feelings.
Oh, what's happened?
You can hear words.
Is Tatiana all right? What could reduce such a warrior to this?
Place a hand.
Are they out of eggs? Get more eggs.
They're there.
You could have my eggs. It's fine.
Should just hug your knees.
Okay. And Valentine will like give in and reach down like around while Tatiana's kind of down around her waist and hug kind of the top of her head.
Thank you.
Valentine, you notice Tregram doesn't say anything. This is not the kind of scene that he would miss, and he didn't say a word.
Noted, and thank goodness. Going to just continue kind of like petting the top of Tatiana's hair and trying to comfort her before she alerts the entire city that we're having emotions in here.
Valentine, what's happened?
It's
I'm an hysteria.
I don't know what that means. What is that?
it's her last name. That's all.
I have a last name is all. It's not a big deal. Everyone leave me alone.
Oh.
What is your last name?
Asteria.
Oh,
Close.
A good name.
It's
Desmond.
wonderful.
You absolutely
That's pretty
remember
sweet.
the Asterias. You knew them. You know exactly what Valentine has done.
Just kind of like look at Valentine and just, and then walk up to Tatiana and just, glad to know that you're in the family. Haven't you already been though? Like,
That's what I said. We don't have to make a big deal out of it. It was just
I'm not making a big deal out of it.
and then right when she cries about making a big deal out of it, Desmond leans into Valentine and is like, you know full well, for her, even though it doesn't matter the name. For us, it doesn't matter. The name was always there, always there. But for her to hear it from you, you know that's a big deal. Enjoy your moment. And Desmond just kind of like backs away. And before he backs away fully, he hands her a bit of brisket and just give this to her when you're ready for her to calm down.
thanks.
He just kind of like fades to the background.
And while she's crying, I'm just gonna like break off and like offer her a little bit of brisket down. Just okay.
Her eyes are closed and she takes it.
Nahara, did
Yes.
you make that pull? And what is it that you're
Oh,
trying
I would
to figure
never
out?
do that without somebody witnessing because I don't want to be. Listen, these cards speak for themselves.
Will the streak continue? I think.
Will
I
it
think-
continue?
I think we figured out that this is our 40th episode, and they're still batting 1,000. So let's
Yup.
find out. Well, what is it that you're trying to figure out?
I'm going to do a 3-card pull.
Okay.
The first question. Well, the first thing I want to find out all castles have secrets, and I'm sure Castle Ravenloft has many secrets. But what secrets may come to light on our journey is the first. And if somebody would do the honor of telling me when to stop.
Stop.
Beggar.
A sudden change in economic status or fortune. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah. I know it didn't make
Okay.
sense when I just say it out loud, but yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's the thing. The streak continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The second is I would like to know what danger lies ahead.
What danger doesn't lie ahead?
Exactly.
Right.
But we could be a little more. We can zero that in. Other than
That one, the one that jumped out.
That
That's
one.
it. Yeah, the one that jumped out. That's it.
anarchist.
That is a thing for the record. When you're
Oh yes,
when you're,
if
when
a
you're
card
reading
jumps
tarot,
out,
if it jumps out,
yeah,
then you're like,
if
no,
it jumps
that's your
out,
card.
that's it. Anarchist.
A fundamental change brought on by one whose beliefs are being put to the test. Also, yes.
All right. Okay. Cool. For my last question, what will aid us in succeeding? Anyone want to jump in?
There.
Okay.
Okay.
Not going to say anything.
Those who like money yet give it up freely, likable rogues and rapscallions. That's a friend. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Good to know.
here, having had uncharacteristically sweet moments, and again, I realize these ones don't resonate quite so much right now. It's going to be one of those ones that you're going to think back and be like, what? And I'm going to be like, yeah. Seems like an excellent place for us to take a little break. So we're going to do a quick 10. Don't go nowheres, and we'll be right back. Hello, and we are back. So, is there anything else you all would like to do before you presumably depart for the castle?
In this church, is there a holy water font that I might refill some vials at?
Absolutely. They're one of the few unbroken things inside of this structure. It has a basin with water in it. That definitely seems to be what you're looking for.
I'm going to
Very
dump
well.
out my personal water supply and just do what Uriah does.
Oh yeah, fill up the water skins.
Fill up
My little canteen.
Let's do it.
water
Yeah.
skins with holy water.
Yes, I do already have 6 sort of throwable, breakable vials. I'm going to disperse those amongst everyone so that everyone has one of these little ready-to-go holy water grenades. And yes, perhaps filling some spare water skins. Would we be able to squeeze them to get a stream from the holy water skin?
I would say all of you at least have at least one yeatable source of holy water, and you would be capable of dousing somebody with it at least once.
Very good.
Excellent. Anything else?
Well,
I want to. Oh well, I want to ask Brother Uriah now in character. Do you think that we could take something from the church to act as a talisman?
Well, the church itself, the edifice anyway, seems to be warded, protected. I would hesitate to break anything off, as it were, or do any damage.
I could break this pew.
I mean, isn't there like rubble? It's not like it's a serviceable church right now.
That's true. I mean, it is crumbling. We might be able to find some loose stones. I'm honestly not sure it would necessarily work, but I suppose it can't hurt. Just don't put too much trust in it protecting us.
Anything hanging from the walls, perhaps, that you could take with you, so that it can be brought back safely.
Yes. Are there any loose stones in the crumbling edifice?
Oh, absolutely. You easily would be able to pick up a rock, stone, a broken bit of plaster or wood or anything you like.
I'll just grab a decent sized pebble. Being a dump here, I'm gonna leave the wood alone. No, I don't need to give anyone a stake.
Ironically enough, that literally was what I was about to ask Brother Uriah to roll for. You could make stakes out of some of these broken pews.
I do. I have some stakes already, but yes, wood from this church. Making sure not to damage anything that isn't already damaged, and giving thanks as I gather what we can. Yes. How many stakes could be fashioned of loose wood? Again, we don't want to do any damage to anything that's not already damaged.
At least enough for everyone to have one. Yep.
Right.
I'll take one. Thank you, Brother Uriah.
And
Yes, thank you.
I do have some wooden stakes as well. If anyone would like a spare one that's not of this special wood, well, we don't know if it's special or not, really.
Well, I don't have any stakes, so I will take one if there's an extra.
Yes, yeah, I've got plenty.
I'll just stay close to Tatiana.
Good idea. Us Asterias have to stick together.
Okay, there. Come on.
Oh,
I'm fine.
Very sweet.
Anything else before you all go?
I'll take a stake from Brother Uriah.
I can both.
You see Arena sort of diligently cleaning up after breakfast and packing up her bag. In Valentine, Ismark looks at you and just does this.
Put up a telepathic link.
I will distract her, because if she sees you going, she will try and follow after you, and we will wait until sunrise tomorrow. And if you all are not back, I'm getting her out of here.
That makes sense, and I encourage it, but we will be back.
I'm sorry about your friend. I saw what he did. To both of them, really.
Terrible things happen here. I hope it doesn't happen to your sister.
Be safe.
You as well.
And you see he very loudly says, Arena, let us go put some flowers on Father's grave and recite the dawn prayers so that he might meet our ancestors. And she turns and looks at you all and she says, do we have time? I do so wish I can pray over Father, otherwise he may not be able to find his way home.
You do have time, and prayer makes my skin crawl, so please go away.
You are an odd one, Valentine. And she does
Correct.
turn with Ismark, and they go out the back towards where you know the graves are.
Before we leave the church and go outside into public, Uriah will put on his plague doctor mask, and now we know what it looks like. We'll imagine it from now on. All right, so
As you all look outside the church, it does appear to be dawn, such as it is. You all have seen it a few times, which is really only ever a slight brightening of the gloom. Brother Uriah, you in particular are aware that for all of the sun iconography drawn all over the place here, none of these people have ever seen the sunrise or the sunset. The gloom is perpetual.
very well. As we exit the church, do I feel the presence of a certain someone?
Immediately, it comes back again, like a boot gently pressed on the back of your neck. Finn,
I expected as much.
you feel that heavy ambient anger of Nepenthe kick back in again. In Valentine, you hear in your head, dreadful place. Oh, Valentine, are you all right? I've found somehow I was unable to speak freely inside of that awful establishment. Would you be willing to burn it to the ground for me?
I hadn't noticed. No.
You must have some greater tactical reason for it. I noticed
Would
the
you
Count...
like me to call attention of the Count and potentially every other beastly creature in the general vicinity?
As always, your genius is unparalleled, Valentine. I just did not enjoy a feeling of separation.
Well, we're here now.
And where are we off to, by chance?
We are off to sneak a skull and do a fight.
Sneak a skull from where?
Well, theoretically, Castle Ravenloft.
Valentine, your humor is equally unparalleled. For a moment there, I thought you were serious.
I've not made a joke in years.
You intend to actually enter into Castle Ravenloft now?
Yes.
I always remain your stalwart and humble servant. I'm sure it is, it will be fine. Yes, fine.
We intend to build our defenses. This is the next step.
I, of course, have infinite faith in your supreme capabilities. I will just be your unwitting passenger into Castle Ravenloft.
Dragon, what do you do when you can't get in my mind?
What is a terrible state of affairs? Again, I literally exist to serve you. I didn't like it. It felt like
So what have you
nothing.
been doing?
I was calling your name, and you weren't answering.
That's so sad.
You just waited for me to get back.
Well, I didn't know where you'd gone, so it would be inaccurate to say I was waiting for your return. But I did hope. Might I share a terrible observation?
You may.
It wasn't just that I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear the almighty Godbrain.
So, what you're telling me is that I am your connection to the Godbrain.
Again, that would be inaccurate. In a manner of speaking, I am your connection to the Godbrain, although we are all, of course, connected to the Godbrain. All hail the Godbrain.
But that when I was gone, you couldn't, so...
Well,
Do keep in mind that should I go away, what happens to you?
Oh, there is no me without you.
Right.
Oh.
All hail.
All hail the Godbrain.
I'll catch up with everyone.
Anything else before you all head along? As you all, well, recall, the church basically sits against a cliff face right at the base of Castle Ravenloft. Like, you can look straight up and see it. It's right up there. But in terms of actually being able to approach it, unless you're going to free climb up this cliff face, like you saw that lupine do, Desmond, you all would need to travel around towards the front gates of the castle. Again, you see the village of Barovia come to life as day starts, where you do smell the baking of bread. You see the odd window open, but again, this place is only ever so lively. Brother Uriah, you have an instinctive sense that many of the undead that are trapped inside of the boarded up buildings around here have sort of essentially hunkered down and become largely inactive during the day. As you all approach the front courtyard, thick, cold fog swirls in the courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning lance the weeping clouds overhead as thunder shakes the ground. Through the drizzle, you see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spills out of the entrance, flooding the courtyard. High above the entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass lodged in its iron frame.
As we approach, I shall actively raise my eyes of the dead.
Oh, Uriah. Again, it is almost unbearable. The undeath is everywhere. This place, Castle Ravenloft itself, in a manner of speaking, is undead. It's a cruel simulacrum of a place that once existed that was plucked up and replanted here in the Dread Domains. It's teeming with death.
Am I noticing, because I'm specifically aware of the presence and placement of any undead, do I see any corporeal undead that sort of stand out against the sort of general background noise?
Not here in this area.
I'm going to keep it active as we move through. I'll certainly warn the others if I see any movement.
Absolutely.
I will also... I shall cast protection from evil upon myself.
You feel almost like the air itself retracts from you somewhat, Uriah. It's like this whole place is pushing against you as your protection from evil activates. But as always, Ezra does answer your prayers. The walls that enclose this courtyard are 90 feet high, and the dark towers of the castle rise even higher. The doors on each side of the tunnel entrance are shut against the rain, and a howling wind rushes through the courtyard. Nahara, you are aware, and I apologize, I have to speak in terms of the map because for those of you that haven't seen it, Castle Ravenloft is labyrinthine at best. Nahara, you are aware of the main door. If you go through it, will take you towards K7 on the map that I presented. But if you were to go up through that broken window, if you could gain access to it, it would take you to K25. I will go so far. Well, I've told you where your target is.
So if I was to go in through the window, that would be an easier or faster access to where we are headed, knowing the layout of this.
Let me double check, because not only is this place labyrinthine, its map is complex.
And also,
yeah.
would this happen to be the same window
No.
that I...
No,
Okay.
the window you fall out of is every night is on the backside of the castle on Strahd's private quarters overlooking the waterfall.
Would Nahara be able to tell if we asked her? Would she be able to tell us, like, yes, it's on the second floor, or
Yes, So
you where exactly?
It is. You are down. You know, it is down closer into the catacombs. Nahara, if you were to come through that window, yes, if you were to come through that window, it would allow you to access a staircase that would take you down fairly close to your target if you took it all the way down to the bottom.
Right, so that would be the fastest form of passage. So...
Time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence. I feel as though if possibly Fen and I were able to carry someone up to the window.
It's the window's about 50 feet high. So if you were to fly up there, you have a reasonable expectation that you could lower a rope. As long as no one saw you or attempted to intervene, everyone would be able to climb fairly easily.
All right. Well, I have some rope, and I will climb up myself. Time is of the essence. You're right, Uriah. So I will, to gain faster access, I will fly up to that window and lower a rope for everyone, because going through the front door might have some complications.
Excellent.
Perhaps you shouldn't go alone. Fen, you can fly as well, and Tatiana.
I can levitate. It's not flying. It's different and kind of cooler in certain ways.
If we're going just straight up across the wall to the window, you should be able to reach it.
Oh yes, if anybody else can go up as they please without using a rope, absolutely.
I would suggest that a good rule of thumb in this place or near it would be that none of us is alone at any time.
I mean, I can change to dread form and take someone with me.
Although you only have so many uses of your dread form, correct?
Oh, we gotta rest, right?
Oh, yes.
So yeah, this would be today's use of it.
Right. You can do that, but levitating in a rope would work without you necessarily having to expend that, but it's up to you.
All right. Whatever's faster.
Tatiana, are you and Nahara going to go up?
If we can't be alone, I shall accompany you.
The wind is continuing to blow and swirl around here. But as you get up close to the window, inside, even before you go in, both of you can see dim light from the courtyard falls into this great hall through the broken glass and iron latticework of a large window in the west wall. This immense room is a place of chilly, brooding darkness. Empty iron sconces dot the walls. Hundreds of dust-laden cobwebs drape the halls, hiding the ceiling from view. Directly across from the window stand a set of double doors in the east wall. Farther south, a single door also leads from the east wall. Staircases at both ends of the north wall lead down. At the far southern end of the hall, a large wooden throne stands atop a marble dais. The high back throne faces south, away from most of the room. What would
Do you
all-
want him going first, or should I? You're muted.
My mic is possessed. I shall go in first.
I have your back.
And presumably you are going to lower the rope?
Yes.
Those of you that are climbing, give me athletics or acrobatics with advantage.
I tied big, thick knots in it so you can rest your feet.
Not gonna lie, y'all, my mind heard something completely different when you said big, thick knots.
Don't.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm
dude,
sorry.
Show yourself X card.
I'm 12. Go ahead.
I'm just glad we got advantage because otherwise it'd be real bad.
Yes, me as well. Me as
I feel
well.
like
How big is Valentine? Did I remember to go back and pick her up?
You didn't say that.
Not very
so
big.
Desmond changed and jumped up as well to climb. And got a 19 on that athletics.
Perfect.
19, thankfully.
Perfect. Uriah?
13, which is much better than the natural 1, so I'm glad we had advantage.
Uriah swirls a little bit and spins, but manages to keep his composure.
I always hated this in school.
Valentine?
I do have a -1 in athletics, and that makes it a 17.
More than enough.
You roll good.
You are a thinker, not a climber, usually, but again, you are a woman of many talents.
I have survived Ravenloft up to this point in heels. Thank you very much. I am not strong, but I am precise.
It's absolutely accurate. Is you all make it up?
Sorry, you mean heel knives? That's what they're for. Sorry.
Yes.
You all
Dangerous.
make it up there. Nahara, as you see this room, you are, of course, aware that the castle is expansive and all manner of things are hidden here. You are aware of a couple of things. If you're looking at the map, it's kind of in the upper right corner of the map now.
Okay, if this was this the map
you're-
that was in our chat?
Yep.
Okay.
No, the map that I sent here in Zoom. I sent it like a bunch.
I'm probably looking at the wrong map.
Oh, okay, hold on. I will send it to you
I've got the
again.
castle map.
I did
Oh,
it.
oh, yeah. Not only have I sent it, I've told you where everything you need to go is. I didn't know you hadn't seen it. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you again. Nahara, you are aware that so kind of the upper right corner of that map, there is a staircase leading downwards that marks K83. You know, that is the shortest route. You also know Strahd was particularly fond of this throne room. And again, there is a throne that is sitting at the far side of the room, facing the opposite direction. You are also aware that there is a secret door in the south.
Is there anything about this throne in particular that's interesting or of use?
Would you like to go check it out?
I would.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I'm gonna give myself guidance.
What are the rest of you doing in this room here?
I'm right behind her because I came up first, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow suit and look on the other sides of the wall.
Okay.
But that is a dirty 20.
Oh,
Oh, plus perception,
me.
plus things. Perception. 23.
8, and that's with a +6.
Tatiana, you're actively preparing yourself to walk around and have Strahd be sitting in this chair. So you know your mind's kind of elsewhere, like ready to. But
I do stab the throne with a stake. You were there.
okay, perfect. Nahara, as you look around on the other side of the throne, it is empty. But on a marble dais, on the where the throne is sitting nearby, on another like marble outcropping, there's a book.
I absolutely want to see what this book is.
Uriah, is you make your way in, you see Nahara reach over and pick up a book next to this throne, and it is the book you saw Strahd had in your vision.
Oh, Strahd was holding that in his battle. In his battle with Agreen Vost. It seems to be a tome of terrible necromantic magic, from what I could tell.
Magic, you say?
Yes, but a very evil magic.
Well, perhaps we should take a look.
Sad puppy.
At least take it with us.
I'm not sure that's entirely wise, but
At least he wouldn't have it.
there is that. Perhaps we shouldn't peruse its pages inside these walls. Some time for protective spells to be set up.
Right.
That sort
How
of thing.
about a compromise? I take this book, but I open it later.
All right.
You can see that it is a leather-bound book that is inset with iron bars to reinforce it, and a lock. And on the cover of it is the crest of the von Zarovich family. And you do recall, Nahara, although your memories of this place are coming back stronger, your memories of him in particular are still fuzzy. But you remember him carrying a book like this around.
Right. Uriah, I can't leave it here. I'm sorry.
All right, but well, it's locked, so we'd have to open it at a later date anyway.
Right.
I'm a bit trepidatious about taking it, to be honest.
Well, at least he wouldn't have it.
As you said, all right.
Once everyone gets here, there's a secret passageway behind that throne over there.
Oh,
Yes.
right. I also saw that.
You do know your destination is down the stairs. You're just aware of the fact that there is a secret door over there.
But we could take the stairs. That actually would lead us there.
I think we should take the route that will get us to where we're going, rather than. I don't think we should do too much exploring or sightseeing on this particular visit.
Is there anything... Would I remember what is behind in this secret passageway?
It will gain you access to a series of tunnels that could move behind some of the walls, and it's how you can access the archery holes of the towers as well.
So it might be safer. It might be safer to take that passageway because it does lead you through.
Oh, where you're trying to go is down the stairs.
Right.
It'll just get you in the walls on this level.
Okay. But let us take the stairs first and get our thing. But should we run into any sort of trouble?
All of you,
As you say.
all of you, give me perception checks.
Plus
13.
16.
23?
Nat 20.
Natural 20. Finn,
22.
somebody's coming. They are trying to approach slowly and quietly, but they're definitely on the way. They're coming, if you're in K25, they're coming from the direction of 26 and 27. They're coming down the hallway.
I pull my sword and motion everyone. We need to go. There's someone coming.
All right, then. Down the
where?
stairs.
Heading down the stairs?
I'll raise my eyes at the grave and look in the direction Fen indicated. Are there undead inbound?
You don't sense any undead approaching.
Not undead.
They're in the hall. We should not be here.
Does True Sight give you the ability to see who would be approaching, or no?
Yes, you would theoretically see through stealth if you waited long enough for them to get close enough. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if I want to wait till they're close enough. Let us proceed down the stairs.
Heading down the stairs. Perfect. Okay.
Are we able, based on how close we think they are, and I can pose this to Fen, do we have the ability to sneak away, or do you think that we need to prevent them from getting to us? Do you think they know that we're here?
Finn, with that natural 20, you know they're sneaking up on you, so they suspect something. I mean, they may or may not know how many you are or who's in here or whatever, but I mean, it's not someone walking this way, it is someone sneaking this way.
And there's only 2 of them?
One.
Oh, there's only one?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it's... I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but perhaps it's best to stand and fight rather than risk them sneaking up on us when we're occupied with something else.
Oh, Uriah, I don't know why anybody ever says that you're not brave.
I'm going to do the classic hide behind the door thing while they have their loving moment.
I also take a Heidi stance.
Mm-hmm. Both of you give me stealth with advantage. Yes, Desmond.
Desmond's going to hide in plain sight.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad I have good stealth.
Same
I
thing.
think it's stand behind a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anybody that is going to attempt to hide can give me stealth with advantage.
14.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said advantage.
Ooh.
Yes,
Oh,
Uriah.
that's so much better.
So this would cancel out Uriah's inborn disadvantage with stealth? Well, not inborn, but thanks
Right.
to what he
It'd be an push. Yeah. Yes, Nahara.
25, baby.
Same thing.
18.
Perfect.
21.
What, Desmond?
9.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But
I
again,
was trying to use the hide in plain sight to spend a minute creating camouflage for myself.
well, here's the thing.
Obviously, we're in a castle, so it's not gonna be the same.
Also, you think it works great, Desmond. So, in fact, I'm going to tell you it does work. You set up like a duck
Perfect.
blind right in the middle of this ballroom. Like, poof.
Obviously, in a corner, not like you're standing in the middle of the room.
I mean, that 9 says different.
Fair.
You're like, perfect. This will go off without a hitch.
They'll never see me right here.
All of you take up your positions. And Nahara, give me a regular perception check, because yes, your orb gives you true sight, but you're also trying to obscure yourself, and someone's trying to obscure themselves from you. So give me just straight perception,
Cool, cool, cool. And guidance.
as opposed to the bisexual perception that normally is what I'm asking you to roll.
Yes, exactly.
Ow. Ow.
25 again.
David's saucy today. Can we all just acknowledge?
What was on that pizza?
I know.
I'm gonna acknowledge it in silence.
Something spicy.
Oh, and BD, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I put it in chat. It's 13 stealth for Uriah.
Perfect. Same thing. Uriah, you're like, they'll never find me here.
I wish I had chips so bad. Like, they're never gonna see me right here.
Crunching very loudly. Love it.
Nahara, as you look ahead, you see a face that you absolutely recognize. A face of a pale elf with jet black hair wearing leather. Rahadin, who you saw in your vision, is the Chamberlain of Castle Ravenloft. And he is sneaking in very slowly with his sword in hand, looking around, and definitely casts his eyes in Brother Uriah's direction and freezes for a second.
He sees Brother Uriah.
Seems to.
I will step out Rahadin, I told you to never interrupt me.
What manner of sorcery is this? How?
I don't believe that's any of your concern.
Desmond, Uriah, Finn, and Tatiana, you all start hearing horrifying screaming in your mind. Nahara and Valentine are too far away.
Not again.
You four give me wisdom saves.
Oh boy.
That is my third 2 of the night.
Get him out of the way early.
It's a 4.
17.
17.
The digital dice have betrayed me after giving me 1 bounty. That's a whole 7.
Uriah?
23.
Each of you hear the screams of hundreds, possibly thousands of people dying. Tatiana and Finn, you each take 16 psychic damage. Desmond and Uriah, you take 8, but absolutely are grabbing your head, trying to push all of this out. When you see this pale elf turns and looks at all of you, you can all see him now. And again, he's almost sort of an ashen gray. He's a Finn, you would recognize him instantly as a dusk elf, having no recollection of having seen him before. And he holds the sword and he looks around at all of them and he says, I don't know what trickery you've engaged in, but the master will not allow this blasphemy to stand. How dare you steal her face?
I have stolen nothing. You know exactly who I am. Now leave me.
Give me persuasion with disadvantage, Nahara.
Oh, man.
The real Rahadin is not quite such a pushover.
The real Rahadin. Okay, I still rolled high.
What'd you get?
16, 18, 19, 22, 23.
Is that persuasion or intimidation?
Oh, intimidation's higher. 23, 24, 25.
No, I'm asking. I mean, are you trying to be nice? Or you trying to be mean? I mean, you
Heck
tell me.
no, I'm trying to be mean.
Okay. 24?
20, no. 20, what did I say? 25? 25.
25.
At a +7.
You see his eyes just narrow for a minute and the screaming stops in all of your heads. And he says, then you've returned to present yourself to the master then.
What I am here to do with the master is none of your business.
And these outsiders?
Guests.
They're here with me, and you shall do them no harm, and you're going to turn around and go about your business.
It really is you, isn't it?
Oh, it really very much is.
Fine. I shall leave you to it then.
I'm sure there are much more ways for you to be useful at this moment.
Desmond, you see he turns and looks at you and he stops for a second.
No way he can see me. Too good.
And he just sort of nods for a moment and just like kind of starts walking backwards towards the door that he just came in. The sword up, and he's like, I apologize for my offense, my lady. I shall endeavor to make sure the castle is prepared for your return.
Yes, clean this place up. It's quite dusty.
As he's leaving, I'd like to detect thoughts.
Perfect. Detect thoughts gives you
Inherently surface level thoughts, and then I can probe deeper, and it is a wisdom save of 15.
he beats the deeper save.
Okay.
The thing that he's thinking right then is Armand, but is backing out.
I'm gonna telepathic link with Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that was, he was thinking about Armand.
Really?
I don't know anything else. He was just thinking about Armand.
Thank you. It takes everything in Desmond to not immediately sprint after this dude. But he stays still.
I have a feeling we'll
Because they
see
can't
him
see
soon.
True. Good thing he didn't see me.
And Rahadin does back down the hallway until he is out of your line of sight.
Once he's out of line of sight, I'm going to say, okay, well, we are very limited on time, and they know that we're here, so let's go. The next encounter might not be so fortunate.
That was very well done. That was magnificent, really.
Thank you.
The
And I give a little peck on the cheek and turn around and start walking down the stairs.
the stairs are shockingly long. It is almost incomprehensible how big Castle Ravenloft actually is. So much so that this is honestly the biggest building any of you have ever been in. Even Desmond and Valentine, even though you were of royal status, you were all from a relatively provincial area in the Moonshay Isles. You've never been anywhere on the scope and scale of this place. You go down 50 feet worth of stairs before you hit the next floor. Although Nahara, you know you have to go down even further, which is 130 feet down of stairs. So it is running downstairs.
I feel great.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. All your training has literally led to this, Tatiana. To be clear, Nahara, to be clear, you were, of course, taking the book, correct?
Of course.
As you all get far enough down, sorry, 1 second here. I'm keeping track of a lot of things.
A lot's happening.
When you all get down the stairs to the room where you know the skull is, Nahara, dark stains cover the floor of this area. Large oak tables, scarred and beaten, lay scattered like toys about the room, their wood crushed and splintered. Replacing them are furnishings made entirely of human bones. The walls and the 20-foot-high vaulted ceilings are a sickly yellow color, not because of faded or time-worn plaster, but because they are adorned with the bones and skulls arranged in a morbidly decorative fashion, giving the room a cathedral-like quality. 4 enormous mounds of bones occupy the corners of this ossuary, and garlands of skulls extend from these mounds to a chandelier of bones that hangs from the ceiling above the long table constructed of bones in the center of the room. 10 chairs made out of bones and festooned with decorative skulls surround the table, resting atop which is an ornate, bowl-shaped vessel made of yet more bones. The doors to the north and south are sheathed in bone, but the steel-banded double doors in the center of the east wall are not. Above these eastern doors is mounted the skull of a dragon.
There it is.
Well, there it is.
This is awful.
I still have my true sight. Are we safe in this room?
Safe would be strong, but you don't see anything hidden.
All right.
Eyes of the dead reveal any undead within 60 feet?
There is undead outside this room and approaching, but you don't sense anything in here.
Something's on its way. I sense undeath. We'd best be quick about it. How big is the skull?
It weighs about 250 pounds.
Dang! All right.
Okay.
Tatiana?
And
This
how
is
much
what
of
I
that
was
is
made for.
Tatiana carrying?
Desmond, can I get a hand?
Do it.
And I would
Can we
like
reach up and get it, or do we need to climb on something?
Both of you can give me athletics to see how easily you can get it down. Yes, Nahara.
I'd like to do two things while this is happening, because I am not trying to carry a 250-pound thing. I would like to check out what that vessel is, and I want to use my. What is it? Hold on a second. What is this thing that I have? That it's technically called. It is called Ghostly Gaze, so that I could see what is behind that door.
Behind the door where something's coming?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So the 20, it is natural. A 27 for my taking this dragon skull from the wall. My friends, they are good at sneaking. They are good at hiding. They are good at fighting. Me, I'm good at carrying heavy objects.
Honestly,
I'm good at
Tatiana,
rolling 16s.
this is your time to shine, Tatiana. And Desmond, even as you get ready to kind of like brace yourself, she does just kind of plant her hands in the eye sockets of this thing and
Squeeze glutes.
yeah.
Now, important question though.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very heavy object, and we can't very well throw it out the window because we'll destroy it.
Yeah, and you're 130 feet underground right now too.
Okay, so we're gonna need an exit strategy, but we'll
Desmond, spot me. I think I got it. Just spot me.
Yeah, the
Just
skull.
moves up and like puts a finger underneath it, like you obviously got this.
The skull is about the size of Tatiana, honestly. But you are able to hold on to it with that natural 20. You feel like you've got it under control, Tatiana.
It's the balance. Just be underneath it.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep your
Gotcha.
core tight. Keep your core tight. Outside, hold on one second here. You realize Nahara.
I'm also Tatiana, but from
True.
a different life.
That is true. You're not Tatiana. That is true.
Still weird.
I know. But we get matching necklaces, yay! With our names on it.
It's true. Just call each other TT. You actually, even though you, let me not tell you the wrong thing. You notice at the other end of the hallway, Nahara, a skeleton covered in rotting, decrepit armor is just sort of lumbering down the hallway in this direction.
Uriah, not to alarm you, there is a walking skeleton with armor heading our way, sauntering a little slowly, but heading our way. Oh, you are muted, sir.
Is that what it is? I could sense it coming.
That's what it is.
Right.
It's more than 60 feet away, Nahara. That's why I feel like he hasn't felt it yet. But it's definitely approaching.
But I felt another undead presence besides what is being pointed out.
Yes. You feel 9 other undead presences other than the ones being pointed out.
There's 9 more. They're coming from. I indicate the direction they're coming from. Perhaps we should get up the stairs as quickly as we're able.
Yes. That would be best. Tatiana, as Desmond.
Which one, me or you?
You, if I'm saying it out loud. You? Is anybody helping Tatiana?
I mean, with that natural 20, I mean, Desmond is helping, but so far she's got it under control.
We should go. We very well can't toss it out the window. But we need to go because there are things approaching.
I'm good. Back upstairs? Where are we going? For now, I've got it.
All right.
Back the way we came. Tatiana, would you be able to levitate down with that?
Here's
Or
the
levitate
thing
it down?
about levitate. I kind of need a night's sleep. It takes a lot out of me.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Possibly, if we have multiple ropes, we could lower it down.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, and this is very heavy, specifically levitate is more often used on objects and would have made a lot of sense had I just climbed the rope, which I'm also very good at.
Right.
What
Anyway,
sort of monster knew
we
that
should
and
have-
didn't say anything?
Spent a long time with the plan.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. Was there anything that I saw in that vessel or no?
Nope.
All right,
Although,
let's go.
As you are looking there, Nahara, trying to think about this, you catch the clearest image of Strahd sitting at this table, just holding a skull, looking at it.
He's just casually holding a 250-pound skull.
No, what was
a
humanoid
human skull. Ooh,
I mean, he
humanoid
could. He's got them gains, you know. You
He
just
does.
remember seeing him here doing this. So, kind of tossing it over his shoulder.
Strange hobbies. I don't know what I ever possibly might have saw in him. Let's go.
All right. Tatiana,
It's,
again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'll bring up the rear. I'll let you, Fen, Valentine, and Nahara get well ahead of me. I may need to try to turn them.
Here I am. Not
Okay, but are we sure we don't want protection from skull cracking? Because if I fall, then this falls.
I'm going to stay behind with Uriah.
But if I turn them, it might affect you.
Then I
remember?
shall stay behind, but at a distance. I'm not leaving you.
All right, 30 feet.
Fair.
I'm just going to start walking back up.
you all run back up the stairs. All of you give me perception checks.
Sorry, Doug.
Four dice don't
11.
exist.
Ooh!
11.
17.
Dude.
17.
27.
27.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
18.
18.
15.
What was that for Valentine?
17.
As you're making your way up the stairs, Nahara, you hear it first, but you all start to hear it. There's organ music coming from up ahead. There was no organ playing when you went down the stairs.
Oh, good.
Your organ is coming from where we're headed to upstairs?
Mm-hmm. Basically, this was a long staircase that you guys kind of just like bypassed some floors completely, heading all the way down. As you're going back up, now there's organ music playing where there was not before.
But is it coming from that floor that we're on or just in between somewhere?
Where you're headed towards.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. We love it.
I don't like it.
I cannot stop. It's momentum.
All
Yeah.
right.
250 pounds up 8 flights of stairs is no small thing, even for Tatiana.
So in the room, as we leave that room and we're heading up in the stairs, in the doorway, I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith. Now, this is essentially a large spectral guardian appearing and hovering in the doorway leading, up the stairs from that room where these things are converging. It's going to stay there for 8 hours. And anything that comes within it, that enters into its space, and it's large, so it's blocking the whole door, will take 20 points of radiant damage.
What does your Guardian of Faith look like?
A paladin of Ezra, bearing her symbol upon its shield.
In my mind, its face looks like a really bowed out Van Richten. Just like very square jawed.
Yeah, probably yes.
You see a moment after you cast it, this skeleton gets a little closer and just says, and charges forward, and the Guardian of Faith smashes into it, Uriah, and coming out of rooms all along the halls, you hear, as more and more of them come pouring in. Presumably you're going up the stairs?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The Guardian,
and
the Guardian stays where it was cast, and so it will continue to dish out damage as these things come near it.
I will be casting sunlight with the holy symbol of Ravenkind as we run up the stairs.
Sorry,
I'll
almost
just armor up.
I almost died making skeleton noises. Sorry.
Oh no, not good.
I will.
Not
mage
good if you don't
armor.
almost die.
That's
how you know they were good.
It's true. That's it. I was making actual bone noises.
Oh, and just for your information, they can make a dex save to take half of that damage.
Perfect. As you are running up, again, so you said you are casting sunlight in front of you. Is that what you're doing?
It's just in my hand, and it's in I believe, a 30-foot radius all around me.
As you all come up to the second landing, before the door, what on your map would have been K7, there was a door that was closed. Now it is open. And you hear organ music coming from inside. And as you all cross that landing, you hear, "My brother, it is you. And Valentine and Tatiana." Ha!
Armand?
I'm going to have to insist that strange winged woman point that thing elsewhere if we are going to have a proper reunion.
Is this going to be a civil property reunion?
Oh, of course. I'm not the blunt instrument of the family.
Very
That's
well.
right.
This is family. Tell them,
Desmond?
Desmond.
This is your brother.
Do you mind if I put this down for a second? If anybody... Oh, sorry. I'm going to need some help.
Put it down. But I'm not sure if this is Armand.
Is you...
And our perception to see if that's actually Armand.
Absolutely. Well, does Nahara extinguish the light?
I do, but I still have true sight up because I'm kind of having a dual situation here.
Mm-hmm. When you turn off the sunlight, the doors at the end of the hallway swing open. And inside you see a grand hall where the organ music is coming from. It is as nice as anything is here. It is less dusty and full of cobwebs. And there is a long table with carved dragons sitting on pedestals. There's 4 of them in the room. And at the far end of the table, it's him, Desmond. It's Armand. Valentine, you and Tatiana know him also. He is not wearing the blood-stained wedding suit that you saw him in last, but he is still wearing several of the medals that he had on. In Nahara, it's not an illusion. It's him. He's standing there.
And Nahara will look over towards Desmond to gauge his facial expression.
Desmond is concerned, but he decides to walk toward Armand just to get a closer view of him.
And as she's
as
taking that cue, we'll lower and extinguish that sunlight.
As
Desmond kind of looks back like, not sure if that's a good idea or not, but it doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Uriah?
Desmond, have a care. There must be a reason he does not want to stand in the sunlight.
I know. I'm sure of it. But I gotta see for myself. Desmond moves up as close to him as he can.
Yeah, he's basically at the other end of a far table, so you could come to the other end, or you could try and approach closer to him if you wanted.
Going to the other end.
Going towards him?
Yep.
He does step out from behind it as well and walk towards you too. He says, your time in these lands have treated you well. You look a bit lean. Tatiana, rippling as always. And Valentine, a vision of radiance as always.
I bow deeply to him on one knee as I pledged my loyalty on his wedding day.
I think I know the answer to this, but what does Eyes of the Grave reveal about
He's
Armand?
absolutely undead.
He's been claimed.
That's right. He is ours.
No, by the Count.
Armand, you are part of you will become friends with our friends. We're
Tatiana.
reunited.
Tatiana, he's his creature now. He's a vampire.
And Desmond,
Remind you all that being undead is not something that is inherently a problem.
I know, but
Right.
Desmond just kind of looks back at everybody, just give me a minute.
Please.
Sorry.
And looks Armand in the eye and just casts Zone of Truth.
Oh!
He just looks down, and you are aware of the fact that he is taken in by the Zone of Truth.
So you know what I've done. And I'm sure you know why I've done it.
I only know what I've been told.
What have you been told?
The last I remember was standing shoulder to shoulder with my brother, victoriously defending our homeland. Still drenched in the blood of my dead bride. In that helmeted abomination that I've come to know as Soth. Nearly struck Tatiana dead, in fact. And then the mist.
You would have had him.
The mist came rolling in. And I looked for you. I looked for you, Desmond. And I didn't find you. And then I thought you'd look for me. You didn't come. When I heard that the three of you were together, that initially filled my heart with joy. I didn't want any of you that I loved so much to have to wander these lands alone. And then I realized, why did I have to wander these lands alone, brother?
Have you asked the one who brought you here, brother? You can be angry with me all you like. When I awoke with them. Everywhere we went, no trace of you. Never stopped. I did have a very odd dream of us meeting in the forest. Not unlike the forests at home. You were not happy with me, but it was an interesting dream. You know anything about that?
I can't say I sleep much anymore, or at least when I do, my dreams are unpleasant as well.
Does not surprise me that you don't sleep well now, because do you sleep anymore? Is that a thing that you can do anymore?
I assume you know my lot in life has been altered somewhat. I did everything I could do. Dutiful son, would-be king, doting husband, loyal friend. Do you know what it got me, Desmond?
Here?
Here.
Have you heard from your beautiful bride?
Von Zarovich, Count Von Zarovich, our lord, has told me of what happened to her, of what you did. Yes.
Oh. And what exactly did the Count tell you that I did?
He told me that you and your friends, who I thought were my friends, went to great lengths to attempt to resurrect my love, Desmond. My love. He told me that you plucked her from the spirit world and returned her to the land of her ancestors, where she was twisted somehow and changed into something else. Which makes sense, really. I suppose we'd fulfilled our vows, just like you and I, the sons of our homeland, have been twisted and corrupted into some other thing. And he does turn and look at Valentine. I
Desmond.
suppose we're a match set now.
Well,
Desmond, forgive me, but
Desmond
your
is
brother
not
has
twisted.
always been a small, petty man. And even in death you remain. You're upset that we tried to do something about what you couldn't, what you wouldn't. How embarrassing.
and before he gets a chance to respond, Desmond hangs him really quick and just, you realize you knew what I did when I did it. And you know that I can't lie to you. Would you like to know what's happened in this entire time? You've given me a story of a lovely tapestry of the things that you've gone through since you got here. And I completely understand your excitement about being here and being in a home. A castle much bigger than any that we could have had in our kingdom anytime soon. But let me enlighten you on a thing, brother. When we awakened, you don't know what your bride was party to. Yes, we revived Veronica. Yes, we attempted to take her home. When we arrived, she killed the being that was the leader of the domain. So now, she is probably as powerful as your count, if not more powerful. And when she was resurrected there, and when she, guess the first thing she did, she recreated our home in a horrid fashion. Yes, on the surface, it looks just like home. Looks like Kashmar. But when you look deeper, it's death. When you look deeper, it's rotted and fetid. And it's none of the home that we remember. You can be angry with me for not being there to save you, brother, but we were revived here in two different places. You, here, in a land controlled by your count. We've been here for quite some time, and it only took us this time to get here. In no earth, in no realm, in no way nor fashion would I do anything to disrespect you or our home. Yes, you would have been king. You would have been a fantastic king. Way better than any king that I could have been at home. You know my proclivities preclude me from the things that you've always been amazing at, the things that I helped nurture in you. So if you think for a moment that I would do anything to disrespect you or your bride, you must not know me very well. And that hurts more than anything that Veronica did when she raised our home in a way that is unrecognizable to anyone who's ever been there. The idea that you could have been poisoned by whoever it is that brought you here, and you think that I would do any of that to you? Wow.
You speak to me of pain. You speak to me of loss. Well, brother, I will show you loss.
Well, you know.
That is a good place for us to stop. We'll see you next week.